Bhishma Pitama and his oath. Bhishma Pitama, he was the grand sire in the battlefield of Mahabharata. He was the grand sire of Hastinapur. He was the grand sire of Kauravas and Pandavas. Bhishma Pitama was one of the greatest warriors to ever walk on this planet Earth. Sage Parshurama was one of his teachers who trained him. His mother was the pious Ganga herself. I don't want to go into the story. You can Google it. Bhishma's oath. His father was hunting. He met a beautiful woman. He wanted to marry her. But the family of the woman insisted that the king could marry, which is Bhishma Pitama's father, this lady only if the king can promise that the children born from this marriage, only they could ascend the throne. Bhishma's father, the king, came back home sad because he had his son, who is the natural born heir to the throne. The son came to know that his father is in love with this beautiful woman, and he wanted to sort out the problem. He met with the family and say, don't worry, I am not going to ascend the throne. He says, what if you get married and have children of your own and they can become heir to the throne? How would we know that you would not take the throne? See, even then, the struggle for power was so great. The fear of loss of control, the fear of future was there too. It was always there. Bhishma, there and then, out of love for his father, he made an oath. He declared that not only he will not take the throne, he will not get married, not only will he stay single, he will not even entertain the company of women. He had taken the oath of celibacy. The earth and heavens shook when he took the oath. It was almost out of proportion. His generosity was out of proportion without looking at the consequences beyond the marriage of his father. Time passed. All of the sons born from this new marriage of his father died. Now no one can ascend the throne. The lineage will be gone forever. So his so-called second mother offered to marry him for the sake that the lineage could continue. Since Bhishma had taken the oath of celibacy, he could not fulfill that promise. He could not protect the kingdom. The lineage would die with him. This is one of those rare cases where his own word, his own swadharma came to bite him back. First of all, we don't have very many people in this world who are idealistic. No, there are not very many people who honor their word in this planet Earth. We need more people who honor their word. That's not what we're talking about. This is something else. This is for those people who do honor their word, so-called gentlemen and women. You could give your word to someone to give protection, to give immunity, to serve them, and it could bite you back in a way that it incapacitates you to be of additional service in future. When Bhishma went to his mother Ganga, we're talking about River Ganga here, Ganges, to consult with her, what should I do? She told her, did you consult with me when you made that oath, when you made that decision? You did not. Now you have to bear with your consequences. Bhishma, since he was a man of his word, he had already manifested not only his future, he had sealed the future of his lineage with that word. So does my word even matter? Does my swadharma even matter? What matters then if my own word, if my own swadharma doesn't matter? Then how do I live my life? What is even the point of living my life? What is even the purpose of life then? This is the insight I get. In her 90s, Phyllis was traveling around the world by herself, giving training seminars, taking care of herself. She has a very frail body, multiple allergies. She can almost take no medicine despite having severe pains in her body, from denture to her feet and everything in between. People in their 70s are young compared to Phyllis, who is in her late 90s. They're asking Phyllis, what is the secret of your life? How come you have so much energy from dawn to dusk, yet you're independent? taking care of yourself. Here is the secret to Phyllis Krystal. And she said, if you do it, you can also have the same benefits. Her secret. She said, I constantly ask, I see, in which case, Baba for her, what do you want me to do right now? I see, what do you want me to do right now? And she said, something will pop in my head. Maybe a voice. Maybe I'll remember something that I'm supposed to do. Maybe a phone call will ring. Maybe there'll be a doorbell. Maybe I'll be reading a book and something will pop up. And then I'll go about doing whatever comes up. And when she's done with that task, she goes back to High C. High C, what would you like me to do right now? And that's how she lived her life. That's the secret to her life. Being in the present moment, living in the present moment. She didn't have the burden of idealism that I shall never do that. I correct myself. She did have a burden in her life. She was also cursed like Bhishma with a burden in her life. And that was a burden of no control. The entire Phyllis Krystal method came through no control. The crux of the entire Phyllis Krystal method is no control. Do not control anyone. Do not let anyone or anything control you. So she also lived her life without controlling anyone. So what am I saying? The bottom line is my will does not matter at the end of the day. What I will does not matter. My swadharma doesn't matter. My resurrection doesn't matter. What did Gopikas do? When Lord Krishna pretended to be sick, having a severe headache, and when Narad Muni came asking, Lord, what is the remedy of your headache? Only you know what is the remedy of your headache. He said, I need the dust of the feet of a true devotee put on my forehead. Now, Lord is Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is the Lord. Why would you put the dust from your feet from the Indian subcontinent culture at the head of your Lord? It is blasphemy. So when his wives were told, they said, are you crazy? We'll go to hell if we did that. Don't make us commit the biggest sins of our lives. To cut the story short, when Narad went to Gopikas, all of them immediately took out the dirt from their feet, the simpleton cowherd ladies, villagers. They gave it to Lord Narada, said, immediately run, give it to our Lord, give it to our Nath. Hurry. Narad Muni said, Gopikas, do you know what that could mean? Do you know the consequence of you giving the dirt from your feet to be applied to the head of your God? That could mean that you could burn in hell instead of going to heaven. The Gopika said, we don't care about our resurrection. We are not worried about what will happen to us. We are only worried about the well-being of Lord Krishna. This is a perfect example when their Atma Dharma trumped their Swadharma. The Gopikas were wedded to the Atma Dharma. They were not worried about their individual Dharma or their individual resurrection. They loved Lord Krishna implicitly, absolutely pure, divine, implicit love, without any consequences or reward. Love for the sake of love. Who am I? What am I? Why do I even matter? So what can we learn from Bhishma's oath? What can we learn from Phyllis Krystal's secret to life? What can we learn from Gopika's devotion? Putting it all together. My own word does not matter. My own swadharma does not matter. When, here's the caveat, I am listening to the word of God, when I'm listening to the voice of God, when I'm following the Atma Dharma, when I'm following the Atma Dharma, all the other dharmas are taken care of. Atma Dharma is like the trump card. The trump card is above all other cards, higher than the highest card there is. So what is the secret? Secret is really, if we follow what Phyllis Krystal did, which is constantly asking, but before asking, connecting with the high C, whichever way you connect with the high C. You have to ask yourself, how do I connect with my high C? For example, through Phyllis Krystal method, it is the maple, the tree, and exercises like that. For some people, it's prayer, meditation. For some, it's bhajans. For some, it's yoga. For some, it is time in nature. For some, it's silent sitting. For some, it's reading. For some, it's running. After connecting with my high self, I ask, I say, what do you want me to do right now? And then do it. Then doesn't matter what you decided to do or not do. The voice of the self, the voice of high C, trumps, supersedes every other promise I make. My own salvation is not important. That is the highest amount of sacrifice that Gopikas displayed. Now, the question is, was Bhishma wrong? Were Gopikas wrong? What are the challenges in practicing Phyllis Krystal's secret to life? Please comment on it. Let me know. I love me.